Hey everyone, what's up? This is Dusty Evely, bringing another one of these film breakdowns to you. I've moved. I guess I had been doing this on my own personal channel. I've now migrated to the Cheesehead channel, which is exciting. Hopefully that reaches more people. I think that's the general thought. So, if this is your first time watching, welcome. I've got a handful of other ones running around my personal channel, but this is what matters now is where I currently am, and where I currently am is happy, I guess. So what we're gonna do, just to kind of first off, I'll give you a little introduction in case this is your first time. What I do, I write about passing concepts for Cheesehead TV every single week, but there are times when there's something comes along that I feel like I just want to talk through a little bit more, that maybe I can roll through a little more in depth that I feel like talking than I can actually writing by showing a handful of examples. So that's what I want to do today. I want to talk about a play from the Packers divisional round win over the Seahawks this past weekend. But to do that first, I need to set up the concept that it's working off of, and so that's what I'm doing here. So this is a play. So that's kind of your little introduction here, and then we'll just jump into it. So we're going to look at the slant flat concept, and to do that, we are going to start. This is a 2019 Week 16 game against the Vikings in Minnesota. So I've got a little curl here. I'm showing a curl here with Graham. This is important to the overall play, but not to the overall concept I really care about. And so I'm not really going to talk too much about this one. But that is important just to help clear out the middle. What we're going to focus on and what's relevant to our interest, to my interest, hopefully to your interest, is just the general slant flat concept against man coverage and why that kind of works. So we've got Jamal Williams back here running a flat route. We've got Alan Lazard, running a slant route, kind of a deeper slant in this case, but the principle still holds, so we're going to keep it just a slant over the top. So this is against man coverage. The Vikings are in man. We're going to be keeping an eye on this man right here and this man right here. So we're going to roll it, and we'll kind of talk about what the deal is, what's going on, and why this is important. So we can see right now, and I've got some of this stuff highlighted so you can see pretty easily. Jamal Williams breaks for the flat. And we've got this linebacker here following him, and this safety backing up. So that means we've got this nice green spot. We've got this nice green spot because generally when you throw a slant flat, you've got the slant man here, and what you're looking for if you're in man is this linebacker running, then this man's slanting over the top, and as soon as the flat defender clears that window for the slant, you fire there. So basically you're waiting to using the flat more or less to draw that guy out, and if this guy stays in place, you can throw the flat and get some easy yards that way. But that's generally what you're doing. You're clearing the window to throw the slant. I should also say that the slant flat concept is not a new concept. I mean, you've probably seen this if you watch football a lot, especially if you watch the Packers. They throw this they run the slant flat probably more than they run any other concept, and they've been doing it for years. I mean, they did this under McCarthy. They're still doing this under LaFleur. It's a West Coast staple. So you'll see a lot of teams running this, but just understanding just the basics of it, why this works, what they're looking for, will help when we break down the next play. So that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at, you wait for that guy to clear. You can see him clear. And as he's clear right here, we got the window. Rodgers is loading up. You can see that window right there. He's throwing it off the back of him. So as soon as he does that, Rodgers is going to throw to Lazard. Lazard catches in this case. Awesome. Okay, now, with that in mind, that is your slant flat. Now we move to this past weekend, the divisional round game over the Seattle Seahawks. And you'll see this looks fairly familiar. We've got these two guys here. In this case, it's Geronimo Allison and Devontae Adams. And I've got these dotted lines here to try to feel fancy, I guess. But it's going to look, and I also should say, I mean, what we saw before was Lazard with the slant from the outside and then the flat coming from underneath. The Packers run slant flat from a bunch of different ways. A lot of teams do, and so they have run it out of this alignment before. I'm sure they will again. So this kind of two stack here, not stack, I guess, or it's next to each other. So we've got the kind of slant action and the flat action. And they're going against these two linebackers. Now it's different. The way the defense defends them is different, whether it's man or zone. But since the plays we're looking at, and this play is man, that's all I'm really interested in at the moment. We can talk zone later at some other point, but I'm really just interested in man because I want to talk about why it's successful for this one. So we saw in the previous play what happens when it's a man. And the other thing that can happen if you run this a little tighter like this, which we'll see here, you can get that kind of natural rub. So you'll get as they cross, if they cross tight enough, you'll get, and it's in man coverage, what will have to happen is one of those defenders, depending on where those guys cross, will have to either try to shoot the gap underneath that cross, that rub, or go over the top. And either way could spell disaster for them. So once you get that and you get that crossing action, especially tight like this, you can get that natural rub, and it's hard for defenders to defend. So we're looking at that. So this is what we got. We've got and I've got, obviously we can see kind of where this goes, and you probably know how this goes. But this is looking like he's going to sell this slant. He's going to sell the flat, and then the reversing. So you're taking that tendency, you'd set that slant flat tendency, and you're running counter to it, and we'll see exactly how that plays out a little bit, or why that works. So we can see, and I've written text up here, so I don't have to talk, but now I'm going to talk anyway. So you're selling that slant flat. You can see their motion here. They're both running at each other, and based on where they're running, it looks like that cross is going to be really, really tight. So you can see right here, this guy's kind of attacking. This guy's looking to jump over right away because they know it's man coverage. They know they got to pick up their man, and they also know they're not going to be able to do it based on how it's doing it. So they're looking at, okay, how do we do this? How do we cover this? And they're accounting for that so that one of them does not get bumped off of coverage. And Rogers is looking over here and kind of seeing this. So we'll keep it rolling here. Okay, so then instead of crossing, they reverse. And this catches them in confusion now. This guy's turned around. They're both trying to figure out what to do. They're both trying to figure out where to go, and they can't. And as they're doing that, this guy's flat-footed. This guy's turned the other way. Adams is already full steam, and not only is Adams full speed, we've got Rogers is already releasing. So he is watching that. As soon as they reverse, Rogers gets into his throwing motion and releases it. So, and the other thing we've got here too, Seattle plays a lot of single high safety. I don't want to get into the coverage stuff right now. I did that on one of the last videos, but they play a lot of cover 3 or just like a cover 1 shell. So you've got the single high. With this throw here too, you can kind of see based on the trajectory, and he's, this guy's standing here, whether he is or not, you're throwing boundary. You're throwing away from that single high safety. So Rogers knows if this guy doesn't crash over here, and if this switch by these defenders doesn't go very well, I've got it. So I've got up here, this is, I talked about this before, but we'll talk about it now because it's a new video. I've got up here where it says neither of them is positioned to cover Adams and then Sluggo. Sluggo is a term that I love saying Sluggo, but it just basically means slant and go. It's short for slant and go. So that's exactly what we saw, is you start running that slant, you get them to bite, and then you run the go. So it's a slant flat variation, but the actual route that Adams is running is kind of more of a Sluggo. So, again, Sluggo is fun to say. I like saying Sluggo. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. And yeah, again, I mean, the big thing is here, as soon as they break and he sees these guys are out, Rogers throws. So he goes up and over, and it's beautiful. Up and over, touchdown. Gorgeous play design, called it a perfect time. Now, the last thing I want to show, this is not the first time the Packers have run this. It's not. This play is not from this year. This is from 2018. So this is McCarthy era. This is Week 4 against the Bears, and we've got over here. This is Devontae Adams on the outside and Cobb. Same alignment that we saw the last time, more or less. There's one less receiver. They got the trips over here as opposed to over here, but same basic alignment and the same basic idea. It's in a compressed time, or not compressed time, compressed field where it's still the slant flat, still from this area. And it's just doing the same thing. It's against man. You're trying to sow confusion, and this works slightly differently this time. You can see this guy is looking to switch, kind of what we talked about the last time. This safety's in place, so Rogers has safety in place. This guy's looking to switch, and as soon as he goes to jump over the top, Cobb reverses back, and Adams is trying to. So they both reverse. This route, I love this route. They both just run this so violently, and they sell that slant flat so well. And then once he reverses, there's absolutely no one in the middle, and it's a touchdown. So I wanted to show, there's a couple of reasons I wanted to show that. There's a couple of reasons I wanted to show that. So one, so we had the slant flat, And then we've got that variation that we showed in that second clip in the divisional round. So I wanted to show that to kind of, with the slant flat informs why that variation works. But I also wanted to show, I hear a lot of people now that LaFleur is in, LaFleur is doing good things. It's awesome. But a lot of people I know, McCarthy kind of overran his welcome, or people feel like McCarthy overran his welcome in Green Bay. Not everybody. It's not a general statement. It's just I've seen that running around, bandied about, I suppose. And one of the things they say is, well, McCarthy just ran the same boring stuff over and over again. I wanted to show this just to show not only was the divisional round not the first time the Packers ran it, but McCarthy also ran stuff like this. So I don't know why. I just felt it was important to show some of that. So I hope you all enjoy this. Hope you learned a little something. I learn a little something every time I do one of these, and I always have a blast. So this was just one of my favorite plays from this past weekend. I'm hoping we'll be breaking down even more of these plays next week, with the Packers beating the 49ers, hopefully. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.